All right, party people, we're at it again. We're gonna be building another little home furniture deal. This is a kitchen pantry, and we're gonna try to consolidate a little space in our kitchen area and have a little pantry cabinet, a little more of a cleaner look, and have a little bit more storage. So we're gonna open this guy up. Well, we're gonna have a lot of snow to pick up at the end of this thing. So a few different colors. It's like a driftwood gray. I thought it was gonna be like much darker. It's hard to tell what the color's really gonna be online. It's a little bit lighter than I thought, but I think it'll look nice and I think it'll flow. All right, so we're looking for the instructions right now so we can see what pieces we're going to be starting with here. So right off the bat, let's get started. We got a motivational platitude to get us going. Helpful hints, we're not going to read those. We don't need their helpful hints. All right, we got a parts list here so we can count them. They tell you a quantity of screws, hardware, all the things you're going to be using to connect them all together. All right, so it looks like we got pre-assembly, and so we're going to take panel H, K, A, and G. All right, so we're going to be installing these little magnetic deals, so when the cabinet door is closed, they stick together. So we got a little magnet guy. The only thing they don't specify on these instructions is which way they point. I'm going to assume they point toward the outer facing edge as opposed to inward, because the door is going to be closing here, close to the edge. It's not going to be closing from the other way. So this is a good way to think about it. If the instructions don't specify which way they point, they're a little tough to get in, so we're going to have to use a little. Go.
Please, can I help you?
Okay, you want to tap this one?
Yes.
Come over here on this side. Remember? Come over here. Very softly, 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 softly. There you go. All right, that's enough. All right, so we got panel I. What is next? We have panel C. And we need to look for the holes on the outer edge. So there's going to be 2 magnets. And there we go. We got our 2 sets of holes. It's a little tough to hammer these also. So yeah, these are a little tough to get in, so if you guys are going to build one of these and get to this part, just know that these are tough. There's a good chance you could crack one of these magnets too, so be real careful. 2. And then we need one more on this little guy, which is panel F. And I wouldn't pound from the top. If you're going to tap, you got to really tap on these sides here, right above where the little piece that's supposed to fit inside goes. Be real careful when you do it, because you could break these things. Actually, this one's already broken. Look, came broken. A couple broken pieces in this package I'm not that happy with. So I'm going to give them a little bit of a nasty gram on their review here. All right, guys, so we're on pre-assembly, so we're going to put the number 4 shelf supports into these 4 panels. But we're going to go ahead and, so this is panel A. We're going to turn it the same way we're looking at the picture, which is going this way. So this is sitting that way. Here's our 2 holes on the top. And so our 2 holes right there, we put the number 4s in. Might need a little hammer or like a mallet or something for these guys. We'll see how easily they go in. And it's not too bad. Might need an extra little tap. Take this hammer and I want you to tap that so it goes in. A little harder. Get this. A little harder. There you go. Again. Again. Good. You see? There we go. Hammer gives us a skill you need to develop. So we got that one out of the way. What else do we got? K. I might have to have you help me wipe all the snow off, JoJo. All right, so K is the same exact thing as we just did panel H. we got panel G. This is pre-assembly, so. All right, let's see what we have next here. We need to install these plastic dowels on all the edges. So this is J, shows it face up with this little trim board right here. It's showing to put the dowels on the outer holes. There's 2 holes on the edge here. So we're gonna be putting the dowels on the outer holes. So these seem like you can just stick these in. Sometimes you need to hammer them a little bit. These seem like they're gonna stick in by hand. We need to push them in a little more later. Put it in there. And I'm assuming the other one goes in the other one. Okay, that one's done. All right, so we see panel C. It's showing this way on the instructions. And we're gonna be putting the dowels on the outside holes of panel C. All right. Man, hurt your fingers to shove them in. Then just give them a little barely tap with the hammer. You want to push them in, you don't want to sink them in too much. It's supposed to be like even, so half. And then we got panel I. Now panel I shows it facing down, magnets this way, with the dowels on the outside again. All right, so we got the pre-assembly done. So it looks like we're going to be moving on to door panel assembly. So we're going to be installing the poles, the handles. We're going to be installing a little metal piece so the magnet can stick to it when it closes. And there's a few other, what is that? Oh, okay, door support. So these little metal pieces are going to go into the bottom of the door, and that's what it's going to swivel on to be able to open and close. So this little metal piece goes in, and it has like a nipple that sticks into the board where it's attached to, and that's going to allow, it's like a hinge almost, right? And it looks like we're going to be doing the exact same thing to all of them. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and install one of them, and then we'll go ahead and skip the rest because it's going to be all the same thing, and then we'll go on to the next step. So that should make it pretty simple. Here's a little thing. You'll see these on a few different types of hardware. These have a little indentation. So you always want the part that's sticking out. It's like a little nipple almost. It's sticking out. That's going to go the surface side. You always want the indentation facing up. So that helps it push into the surface. The part where the screw goes in is beveled that way, right? So always follow the way it's beveled. All right, so we're taking these little screws right here, and we're going to be driving them through these little metal. These are the pieces where the magnets stick to the door. So, like I said, nipple side down, facing the surface. And it looks like these are pre-drilled, but wasn't pre-drilled that well. Something you could do if you're having a hard time getting it started. It's a little tough to get started. You just take it, turn it a few times, went almost about halfway there. Then you put your piece on. Now it should go right in very easily. Small parts are hard to work with unless you do it a lot. Even hard for me. There we go. We just want it down. We don't want to keep going and going and going. So we gotta loosen. We want to make sure this metal piece is straight when we're screwing this tight, whenever you can. All right, so we got the 2 little metal pieces on there. Now we're gonna put the handle, the pole, and we're also going to put the door support, the little bracket that makes it swivel. And that's kind of disappointing. These are plastic. These are not. So obviously the handle does not go on this side. It goes on the outside. This is the side that closes in toward the cabinet. So a lot of times with handles, I stick the screw through. Get the first one on there. Push it flush. because your screw is already in the right spot. So you just put your handle on there, push it flush. You can even give it a couple turns with your screw gun or screwdriver. So now we know that top one is attached. So the top one is attached, so we take the bottom one, push the screw through so it's facing out, and then we could get it in the bottom hole. Get it right on there, line it up. Just kind of turn your screwdriver real slowly, your screw gun real slowly, let it kind of suck the handle in towards you versus driving the screw gun into the handle. Hopefully that makes sense. So since these are plastic, we're going to be real careful when we put these to the side while we're building the rest of it so they don't break. Because you lay one of these boards on this thing could crack very easily. So we'll lay that face up, and we're going to need these door supports. So we're looking for number 8. So it looks like these guys are right here. Obviously, I don't even need to look at the instructions. So handles here, door support's going to be going down there. So they just slide right in. So I'd be careful. Same thing as with the handle. I'd be careful with the door supports. How you store these while you're putting the rest. You could also bend these or hit them off angle. So be real careful when you're storing these guys for later. All right, we're going to put the rest of the doors together. Then we'll be back for the next steps on installing and building the pantry cabinet. We'll be back. All right, so we did all the doors. We put all the pole hardware and little pieces of hardware all over the doors. So those are all ready. And we are back to start putting the actual cabinet pieces together. So we have panel G. You can see it over there on the left side. We have C is on the bottom. We're going to be putting D in the middle, and these little E strips on the end over there. So let's go ahead and attach this first. This has some Allen screws that are going to be going on it. Driving these screws, I make sure this thing is very straight and perpendicular to each other, because the last thing you want to do is drive a screw from this end and it sticks out the side, messes up your finish. So go real slow, make sure you don't hear any cracking or anything once you get to the end there, to make sure you're driving that screw the correct way. This one's good. Let the hole, they already pre-drilled these holes, so let the screw go through the hole. Don't try to make your own. We have panel D, same thing. We're gonna go edge up. So panel D doesn't go the whole distance of this side piece. So I guess we're gonna stick it in. There's gonna be a little gap there. And we're gonna put it in the 2 dowels, hopefully. Sometimes you gotta use a little muscle on these parts. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and try to support this end a little bit as I drive. I'm going to go ahead and drive it to the top this time to make it sturdy here, because it is kind of hanging just on the dowels. So let's just go nice and easy. Snug that down. You want it flush. I don't know if they give you little pieces to cover up these screw holes. They probably do, so you might be able to drive it a little bit more than flush in there. Go real slow though. Take your time with these screws on the side, because you can really mess something up if you drive them the wrong way. Okay, there we go. Those in. So we're going to put. Now we need the letter E. It's going to go here. We're going to go 1 screw is going to go in. And that's going to be flush on the edge. Just keep it flush. Hold it up, support. Easy. Go. So now we're going to get the other side, and that's going to be letter A. So we're going to find letter A. Repeat the steps, put them all across. All right guys, so we got this side A we got going on here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and fit all of these dowels into where they're supposed to go. So we got that dowel in. And we got the screw. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. This is a power drill, right? They want you to hand tighten these with a Allen wrench. So don't want to, this drill can drill a lot tougher than your hand can using a hand tool. So gotta really think about, hey, I'm not driving this way too much, right? So let's put one more here. There we go. Once you get to the end, that's the critical part. Real slow. Alright, so this little piece, before I stuck the screw, I got the screw in there, it's holding a little bit, but you know, this is not a strong piece, so you gotta hold this, you gotta kind of push it in, and then kind of feel that it's flush on the seams as you drive this guy. I'm gonna try to hold this with my legs here. And then we're gonna so just a little trick if you have a piece that's not cooperating that well and you need to get that screw in there, you got to hold it and then you got to drive at the same time with your screw gun.